Reaction to all of this, former special assistant to President George W. Bush, Scott Jennings. Scott, what do you make of all of this?
Well, I think it's a political bombshell. The Democrats want this to be a clean issue. You know, the Trump team is incompetent. The Trump team doesn't tell the truth. The Trump team does things wrong. But every day we're learning from the Farkas clip, from this Susan Rice revelation today, that the Obama senior management team in national security circles was not immune to having extremely terrible judgment. If this lands back in Susan Rice's lap, oh my gosh, what a bombshell this will turn out to be. And I wonder, Neil, is this going to mean we're going to see Obama people in the chair being deposed by congressional committees? The Democrats want all these investigations of Trump people, but now it may be that some Obama people may need to be in the chair to answer for some of the things they apparently did when they were in office. That's
the quickest way these hearings go away, if that's the event. But let me ask you, Scott, about stepping back from this, what the difference is between being surveilled and, as the president alleged a couple of weeks ago, that he was actually tapped, his phones were tapped directly by President Obama.
Yeah, this does not necessarily make his tweet true. It does, however, give some credence to what might have been on his mind at the time, which was they were listening to us and then they were unmasking the people that were associates of us. So I don't doubt that the president might have been told by somebody, hey, they were looking into us, and he may have interpreted that incorrectly, and that may have led to sending out an incorrect tweet. So it doesn't necessarily make those tweets true, but it does muddy the waters on this story. The Democrats have wanted this story to unfold in such a way that makes Donald Trump appear as though he were flat making something up, you know, on some Saturday morning in the White House. But that's clearly not the case. He was clearly told something. Something clearly happened in the upper reaches of the Obama administration. That's going to muddy the waters, and it's going to stop Democrats from being able to portray Donald Trump in the way they wanted to when this story started.
You know, James Comey, the FBI, apparently, and you've heard the stories, had enough intelligence to believe that the Russians were, you know, mucking around in our election last fall. And the president heard that, his staff heard that, and then opted not to do any follow-up with that, but might have been so alarmed by these developments themselves where it would not be a stretch to assume that they wanted to clamp down on this or look more into this. What do you think of that, and whether the irony would be that while not directly tapping phones, they were certainly looking at all the Trump people and everything they were saying and doing?
Well, you know, it's interesting. Regarding when President Obama reported to the American people that he thought the Russians were mucking around in the election, it really came too late. I mean, think about it. If you were the President of the United States and you really thought a foreign power was mucking around in our election and you chose not to disclose that until after the election, I mean, if you were a Democrat political operative, someone who supported Hillary Clinton, or one of her advisors, Hillary Clinton herself, how angry must you be that the president might have been sitting on information that could have changed the trajectory of the election? I think Democrats should be upset with Obama for not disclosing information that he believes he had at the time. And now Democrats really ought to be upset with Obama's people, because what they've done with this Susan Rice stuff today is they've injected a serious storyline here of malfeasance, possibly, certainly bad judgment at the upper reaches of the Obama White House. The press, the mainstream media, the Democrat political operatives out there, they want this to be a clean story about Donald Trump doing bad stuff or his associates being dishonest. This story may prove something we all learned on the school ground. If you want to push somebody down into a mud hole, you may wind up getting splashed yourself, and it looks like that's what's going to happen to the Democrats on this issue.
Well, they're both getting messed up in the process. Scott Jennings, thank you. Good seeing you.